welcome back to Michelle Reads and Vlogs, and today we have a little bit of a different video because we are looking at 1 year of the Locked Library subscription. So this subscription service was set up back in January of 2023 for the first book to be released being in February of 2023. It is science fiction and fantasy. It's done by the overall publisher of Harper Collins with two of their main imprints. So you've got Harper Voyager, which you'll see on a lot of the books, which is the adult imprint, and Magpie, which I think is the YA imprint. As we say, all science fiction and fantasy. One of the main selling points for this at the time was that they were going to be unique books. So the idea was that if a book was already given to another subscription service by one of these imprints, it wouldn't be featured in the Locked Library. So it was kind of a selling point that you wouldn't get any of the same books, you wouldn't get repeats, which of course sometimes does happen with other subscription services. We might get one in one book box and then the same month or a month later, the same book in another one, especially when it comes to more popular books. So these were the first 12 books going through from February 2023 all the way to January of 2024. And I thought that we could just have a look at them in a little bit more detail, take the covers off and look at what's special and unique about this service, and basically why I'm still subscribed, still buying them, and why I've never skipped one. Let's get into it. So the first book was The Thorns Remain by J.J. Harwood. This was a book that I did not sign up to at the time. I think it's very well known on my channel by now that I'm quite new to reading fantasy. So I'm still kind of figuring out what I like, what I don't like. And at the time that this was announced and people were buying into the subscription service, I wasn't on it. Like, even my friend Sarah was like, oh, there's a new, have you seen this service? And I was like, yeah, no, not for me. It was only a few months in that I actually subscribed. So I got most of these secondhand, the beginning ones. So this was The Thorns Remain by J.J. Harwood. This edition of it is just absolutely stunning. I love the silver foiling, the greens, the reds, the sprayed edge. I read this one and I did actually really enjoy it. I would say it's probably one of my favourites that I've actually read from this subscription service so far. End pages kind of carrying on that design. They always do a printed foiled design straight onto the hardcover. And then for me, what is one of the most unique things about this service is that all of the spines match. They're all slightly different fonts, but they were all lined up. You can see with Babel did not come with a dust jacket on purpose. That's the way they designed it. And you can see straight away how they're going to start fitting together. So they all have the Locked Library key. As we say, different fonts for the title of the book and the author name. Obviously the imprint is there, whether it's Harper Voyager or Magpie. And then some of the designs for, I don't even know what you'd call this, like the edging is slightly different on all of them as well, but they're all going to fit in with one another. Another of their selling points is they always have a ribbon bookmark, and I just think that that's so lovely that they include that, and it's always to the same colour of the book. There is always a bound-in author letter with obviously a digital signature on the bottom there. And sometimes, I don't know if there's like exclusive content or if the author signature is the exclusive content, but that's kind of the selling point. So as I said, I really enjoyed this one. I think it is a stunning addition. And I think it was just a great start to the service overall. I thought it was great. The second one, The Valkyrie by Kate Heartfield. Now she's written a couple of other books as well. I can't actually remember. The Embroidered book, I think, is one of them. Anyway, I got this one secondhand off eBay because it is a slightly damaged copy. So I guess the person who had subscribed sent theirs, well, didn't send it back, but they got a new one replaced, which I actually did for A River of Golden Bones. I think people who would have watched me unbox this on my channel would have seen that the original copy that I got is damaged. I've still got it. It's actually hidden behind Godkiller up here. Customer service was so brilliant. They were pretty much just like straight away, yeah, we're sorry about this. We can see the damage. We'll send you another one. And it got sent really quickly. So that's my only experience with the customer service side of them so far. So happy with that. Like, could not fault their customer service. So this one I bought, as I said, secondhand off eBay, and I did read this one as well. Purple ribbon bookmark to fit the purple theming. I think that this is stunning as well, with the gold foiling, the white, the gold, the purples. You can see I read it. I don't know what past me thought. I don't like the fraying, so I'll always tie like a little knot to stop them fraying. And that looks terrible now. I wish I'd folded it under like I did with the Thorns Remain, but oh well. Past me was not aware of this. And that is the printing on the hardback of that one. So this one is Norse mythology. I really enjoyed this one as well. I would say because at the time it was one of the first fantasy books that I'd read, I was actually quite happy with it. Printing on the sprayed edges is a little bit off centre. It's just the perfectionist in me. Again, you know, they've got the print bound in author letter with the signature. And as I said, I enjoyed this one as a kind of newbie to fantasy. I was quite happy. Obviously, like first Norse mythology, I felt like I actually learned quite a lot off that one. And you can see there how it lines up. Actually, the kind of lining on that is exactly the same. I don't know if maybe Babel's just the first one that was different. Lovely. I'm just going to take a little quick tea break. Okay, and then April, I think, was really the first big book that they got in the subscription service. Remember, at this point, I still wasn't subscribed. And that was The Book That Wouldn't Burn by Mark Lawrence. And it was just absolutely stunning. Every book lover, I think, just fell in love with these sprayed edges, with these books. Personally, I think it's a little bit strange how it goes from the green and it changes into the orange. It does look a little bit kind of weird with the colourway there, but still, who doesn't want a sprayed edge made of books and those end pages? And I think this was the book that really kicked this subscription service up a notch. I think people saw this and went, wow, the Locked Library, they are here to stay. They are here to bring it and to compete with the other subscription services. As we say, it's just a gorgeous book. Again, ribbon bookmark is silver here. I guess it kind of doesn't fit the colour of either. And then there's the side spread. I actually didn't read this one. It is one that I would like to read. And everyone who follows the Locked Library, you would know that at the moment they have just put on sale the sequel to this. So this was The Book That Wouldn't Burn. The sequel is The Book That Broke the World. And they've really kind of pushed this. You could reorder this first one as well, which I think was brilliant, because when this was first out, these were selling secondhand for so much. They were going for like over £100, £150. And I was like, no, I'm not paying that much on a book. I can't really afford it. On a book I don't really know as well. But then this one I actually got because they released on TikTok, on their TikTok store, any leftover stock that they hadn't sold from these kind of first books. So I made sure the day they were released, I don't even use TikTok. I had to I had to set up an account just to be able to go on by TikTok to buy this book. And you know what? I'm so glad that I did. So I bought it for just the normal price of the subscription. Yeah, I'm so happy with this one. And I'll be so happy to get the sequel as well when it comes out. So yeah, that does line up. You can see though that the colour of the foiling is different on all of them. As I said, the fonts are different, but they all match. Next we have All the Dead Lie Down by Kyrie McCauley. This one is more of kind of spooky horror vibes, and I did read this. I read it kind of later on in 2023. So it is YA, it is from their Magpie imprint, and I don't know if enjoy is the right word. I'm glad I read it. And you know what? I would say I enjoyed it to kind of have the experience of being a more well-rounded reader. What I am realising is that horror is not really my thing. Any kind of dark vibes in books are not really my thing. But I did think that this was quite good. It was quite spooky, but it didn't really like terrify me or anything, because I don't like scary films. I don't do scary things. But yeah, it was a good book. It was a good read. Look at that. That is nice. Blue foiling, and we can see that they kind of went for a different colour every month to begin with. I think I already showed in there. So yeah, enjoyed that one. let's add her in. There we go. Okay, next we have got The Library of Broken Worlds by Alaya Dawn Johnson. And I think this might have been the first one that I had subscribed to and where my kind of actual subscription started. So I think I bought this one off maybe eBay as well, secondhand. And I was so happy when I got this. I love stars. I honestly thought that this was one of the most beautiful books that I owned once I opened it and I got it. I think I pretty much opened it. This was before I was filming them on YouTube as well. And I think my jaw was just on the floor. I thought it was stunning. Oh, and it is. It's so beautiful. The white, the black, the gold. I just thought the vibes on this were just absolutely immaculate. It just gets better and better. Just look at that. Just look at that. Wow, amazing. Now, it's a shame that this is one of the worst books I've ever read. And that is me trying to do this kind of positive video of this subscription service and what I like about it. But this book was just not good. I like the kind of ideas that the author tried to write about, but the world building was terrible. It was like she built this very complex sci-fi world where you've got this AI living in this library, like a digital library, but she didn't explain any of the world to us. It was a bit like we had to kind of figure it out for ourselves. And I'm an intelligent person. I'm just going to put that out there. You know, I have a degree in biomedical science. I've got half a master's and I couldn't figure this world out. It was like trying to read a foreign language. And in hindsight, maybe I should have DNF'd, but we all know this as well from my channel. I don't DNF. I keep reading because I'm nosy. I kind of want to see where the story goes and how the author tries to wrap it up, especially if it's not been good so far. And even by the end, I couldn't tell you what happened in the book. Like, how have I read this book and I can't now tell you what happened? I can't tell you what the ending was, even to this day. So I think it could have used, because the basics of the story I liked the idea of it. It just could have used someone really editing it, like editing the shit out of it. Sorry, I shouldn't swear on my YouTube channel. Yeah, it really needed a lot of editing and someone being very honest and open with this author and being like, yeah, the idea is good, but the reading experience isn't. And actually, if someone had helped the author to improve the reading experience, this would have been a far better book. But I wasn't the only one who thought so. Other booktubers who'd read it felt the same. I always look at Goodreads. The other Goodreads reviews were pretty much the same as well. So a bit of a shame because, as I said, it got so much promise. And then we kind of get into the ones that I haven't read. So I haven't read most of the second half of these. Some of them just haven't appealed. And otherwise, it's been a lot of time. You know, I've read other things instead because there's so many books and you've got to choose what you're going to read. So this one is And Break the Pretty Kings by Lena Jeong. Such a gorgeous book. So gorgeous. I can't tell you what it's about. A princess with power. I'm going to guess that's what it's about. Oh, for some reason I kept the delivery note inside. I might put that back in there actually. These end pages are quite special compared to a lot of them. It's beautiful. It's an absolutely beautiful book. But I guess this is where we're coming into some of the issues with the Lot Library. The idea that because they don't use the same books as a lot of other book subscription services do, I think they've used a lot of debut authors. They've used a lot of books that aren't as popular to sell more books, which makes sense. You know, they're a business, they need to sell books. And would I have bought, you know, The Library of Broken Worlds? Probably not. Would I have bought this? Probably not. So really, by putting it into a subscription service, it is quite clever. It's a way that more authors are going to get more books sold. But I do think that in some ways the other subscription services get the cream of the crop. I don't think that saying's very good. What's that saying? I can't remember. You know, they get like the best books, the better, more hyped debuts, the better kind of books from reoccurring authors. So I do think that some of these just aren't as good. And I think as a subscription service overall, it would be better if we had more The Book That Wouldn't Burn, Babel. It just needs a little bit more of it. We don't mind a few debuts. Yeah, again, a book I haven't read, The Kingdom is a Golden Cage by Lilly Inkwood. People who like their floral sprayed edges probably like this one. Again, I can't tell you what it's about. I've not read it. But it is a part of the collection. Yeah. Is our spy. And I'm going to be honest, I don't think that one really appealed to me even at the time. So, but as I say, it's there. I've collected. Now this one is one that intrigued me a little bit more. Every Exquisite Thing by Laura Stephen. Yeah, it is one that's a bit more on my radar. I think that this version of it is absolutely stunning. I have heard more people talk about this one as well, whereas like The Kingdom of a Golden Cage I don't think I've ever heard of again, or And Break the Pretty Kings, or The Library of Broken Worlds. They're just very not well-known books, and you could say, well, that's a positive because it's getting you, you know, more not well-known books into your collection, into the hands of readers. This, oh my gosh, this is probably one of the most beautiful printing on the hardbacks they've done so far. Honestly, I just, wow, absolutely gorgeous. So yeah, very happy with that one, but I do need to read it at some point. Girls don't want power, no, beauty. Girls don't want beauty, girls want power. That's so true. So, so true. Penny Paxton, the daughter of a beloved icon, will do anything to continue in her mother's legacy, including enrolling in the elite and cutthroat Dorian Drama Academy. I've just remembered this is the Dorian Gray, the picture of Dorian Gray retelling. Yeah, I did want to read this one. When Penny's new mentor offers her the chance to have a portrait painted by a mysterious artist who promises immortal beauty to all his subjects, Penny jumps at the chance to join Dorian's most glittering alumni, knowing that stardom will soon be hers. But then her mentor is found murdered, her portrait violently smashed, and as the bodies pile up, Penny realises she's made a terrible mistake. Oh, so good. So good. Yeah, I really do need to read that one. Even reading the synopsis now, I'm getting hyped for it. Okay, and then this was October. They went mad. They stepped their social media game up for this one. I feel like before that they were quite kind of, you know, just plodding along. They did a couple of posts a month at the beginning. Like, they've definitely increased their social media, which they needed to do. But for this one, October, the Book of Witches, which was edited by Jonathan Strahan and illustrations by Alyssa Winners, because this is a collection of stories, and what's that, an anthology? And yeah, obviously very October, very Halloween, so they went all out on this. Orange, but haven't picked it up. That's gorgeous. Look at the orange foiling. Wow. And it does tell on the back the stories that were inside the anthology. Again, I didn't hear anyone talk about this though, other than people doing the Lock Library unboxings. That is the only time I've ever heard this book mentioned. I just noticed that's a bit folded in. That one is because this was the damaged one that I bought on eBay. I should have showed you the damage actually. So it was just kind of like a cut in the top of it. So I just kind of tried to push it back in as best as I could. So that was that one. So yeah, not, I don't know. I was kind of like, for October I did my TBR and I was like, oh, I'm going to read all the spooky books and spooky vibes, and it just didn't happen. I read a couple of like spooky books, thrillers, and then I was like, okay, I need a bit of a change of pace now. Okay, and then we've got The Gilded Crown by Marianne Gordon. Again, one that did interest me when I read the synopsis, but I just haven't gotten around to. But it is a beautiful book for the collection. And all these crowns on the side. Oh, that's beautiful as well, with the red foiling in comparison to the rest, next to the orange. Ooh. Since she was a little girl, Helavia has been able to raise the dead. Every creature can be saved for a price demanded by the shrouded figure who rules the afterlife, who takes a little more with each soul she resurrects. I'm sure there's a book that I've just filmed for my anticipated fantasies for spring that's similar. There's a girl who can raise the dead. Oh, it's the Foxglove King, isn't it? And then the sequel to it, the Hemlock Queen, similar kind of vibe. Yeah, so that's the Gilded Crown. Then we've got A River of Golden Bones by A.K. Mulford. This one, again, I've seen a little bit more out and about, but not a lot. But I love the wolf. I own huskies, if anyone doesn't know. That's why there's always husky hair everywhere in this house. That, oh, is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Again, I don't even need to know what this book is about. I just need to be able to see that cover, just display it. So this one I said as well was the one that came damaged. I wonder if I could display the damaged one, like facing out somewhere, because I think that's so nice. And I think this is werewolves. Twins Calla and Briar have spent their entire lives hiding from the powerful sorcerers who destroyed their kingdom and from the humans who don't know they are wolves. Each twin has their own purpose in life. Briar's is to marry the prince of an ally pack and save the Golden Court. Calla's purpose is to remain a secret. Her twins shadow the backup plan. And yeah, that does sound good. But again, I've just not reached for it. Too many books, too little time. And then we come to January, which was basically their 1 year anniversary. And we've got Babel. And you might be thinking, wait a sec, isn't Babel a book that's already been out? You would be right. Yes, it is. They announced that they were going to do a collection of books. I'm sure I got this wrong in the video as well. I think I called them the Archive, and I think that's wrong. I'm just going to double check it again. Yeah, Archive. That is what they called them. So what did I call them in the Vault? I think I tried to call it the Vault in the video. They're called the Archive Collection. So the Archive Collection is going to be older books that obviously Harper Collins, Harper Voyager and Magpie have published. So they're going to bring them out of the vault so that we can have them as special editions. So this is obviously really clever, because then they're not competing with other book boxes. You know, this was in both Illumicrate and Fairy Loot probably over a year before. So there must be something in their contract to say, you know, later on that they can release them themselves. So this was the first Vault edition released. At the moment, it's the only one released. It's the only one that is going to make up a part of the monthly subscription service. Any more that they bring out from the Vault will be kind of additional orders like that we get with Fairy Loot and Illumicrate and other book boxes. You'll have to buy them separately, and obviously it'll be a perk of being a subscriber that you can buy them first, which is why the book that wouldn't burn, obviously the sequel's just come out, or they've just announced it, The Book That Broke the World, and you have to be a subscriber to, well, did you? Oh, early access was for subscribers, and then they bought it out for everyone else. So this is the only Vault edition that we will get in the subscription service. So Babel by R.F. Kuang. For anyone who doesn't know this, this is meant to be is that Dark Academia? I've just said as well, I don't really know what Dark Academia is, but I do need to read Babel. It is literally, oh, hello sunshine. It's literally been on my TBR for so long. I took my regular edition. That's too much, son, too much. This is the problem with living in the UK. The weather is never constant. As I'm sure everyone knows, it's kind of well known about us. Yeah. It's just, it is a stunning edition, stunning. And the ribbon on this, I can see a dog hair in with the ribbon. Nobody ever buy any books secondhand off me. We're covered in dog hair. The ribbon has got the library key on it. It was so special. Such a nice edition to have. Beautiful. And yeah, I love that made up. I think they really needed to, at this point, pull something out of the bag. I think that they needed to really say, we are a strong subscription service, and these are the reasons why you should subscribe to us. As I said, they just need a few more bigger books. So this is the first 12. This is the first year. Happy 1 year anniversary, the Lot Library. I did want to make this video a month ago when it got to a year. But since then, we have had our first of the second year come. So this was the February book, which was Compass and Blade by Rachel Greenlaw. And again, I think this is definitely, they're on the right track. This is the trajectory that they needed to take. This is a slightly more popular, more hyped. People are looking forward to this one a little bit more. And I think, I mean, look at that. Oh my gosh. And the way that it kind of goes around onto the sprayed edge is, oh, it's gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. And as I said, I think this was needed. This was so needed. There's nothing wrong with putting in your occasional debut author, but they needed to start pulling something out of the bag. Did they change their symbol? Is this still Harper Voyager? No, Harper Fire. So this is a new imprint from Harper Collins, Harper Fire. I actually only heard about this morning. I was reading something online about it. So I need to look a little bit more at Harper Fire and kind of what part of the imprint that is. Just realised this one's different as well. That says, what on earth does it say? And that one's slightly different. One more chapter, and then that one's a little monkey. So I don't know if they're even from different imprints within Harper Collins. I really don't know enough about the publishing the publishing sector to kind of be able to really comment on that. So as I've been going along, you've probably noticed that I've taken all of the dust jackets off, and that was completely on purpose because this to me is one of the main selling points of this book subscription service. The fact that they literally make a library. I think it's just stunning. That is gorgeous. This is well worth all of the time, money and effort to collect these. I'm so happy with this. Even just looking at the picture on my phone, because I film on my phone, it looks incredible. So I am actually going to display them like this. No dust jackets. I've took all the dust jackets off. I'm going to find a box where I can keep these safely so that they don't get damaged. And I'm going to display them like this. I think I'm torn between pushing them back and having them on the top of this little shelf or putting them back up here where they were. I should say, when I tutor, this is the back. This is what the students can see, is my wall of books. And I'm a science tutor, not an English tutor. Like, got nothing to do with books. They know that I'm just obsessed. I talk about books all the time, even in my science sessions. So I might put them back up here. I don't know. That's going to be a decision. I've literally got books everywhere in this room. I'm surrounded by piles of books. So I do need to make some decisions, but I'm definitely going to display them facing out, dust jackets off. I just think it's absolutely gorgeous. Anyway, I think we've kind of covered everything for talking about the Lot Library. Let me know what you think. It's not always just about my thoughts. Let me know in the comments what you think about all of these. As usual, if you want to support the channel, there's a few ways you can do this. The easiest way is just to like the video. It helps me and the channel out so much. Subscribe if you want to see more from me if you've not done that already. And if you do like the thought of any of these books, if you want to read them, I will pop affiliate links for them down in the description. As always, that means that you pay a little. No, you don't pay any extra. That's a complete lie. You pay the exact same, but I make a small commission off the sale, so that obviously helps me and the channel out. Otherwise, have a wonderful rest of the day, wherever you are, whatever you're up to, and I will see you all next time. Bye.